I gotta work on my lighting, friends. Working on my lighting, working on everything here in Instagram land. I hope you can hear me okay. Is this working? Hello. I have no idea if this is working. Let's just go ahead and assume that it is. Welcome to the Asha T Show. This is my very first episode here on YouTube. I cannot wait to look back in like 3 years and be like, oh my gosh, do you remember episode one? This is a long time coming for me. I have been trying to birth the Asha T Show for many years. In fact, my TikTok channel is called the Asha T Show. And I'd like to let you know it's been called that for a very long time, but most recently, we are in October 1st, 2025. I'm going to tell you the story about Charlie Kirk and the correlation between the coincidence, if you will, even between the Charlie Kirk show and the Asha T show. I'm going to talk to you about that. We're going to talk a little bit about energy and signs and understanding manifestation from the real way to do it, guys. I'm not going to leave some hoity-toity, I've made bagillions of dollars and now I'm a sage wisdom person. It's not going to be like that. I'm going to give you real details on what it actually takes to go through this. And I really want you to listen so that you can build your own kingdoms in leadership and in love with your soulmate, with your love, with your divine love. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can connect even more. But in the meantime, I'm so excited that you are here. My name is Aasha. I am the CEO and founder of Beyond EQ International. And I am also an energy healer and the energy lady. I work with energy. I love energy. I believe, I don't even believe this because that leaves room for speculation and it leaves room for the unknown or non belief, if you will. It's not a belief system. This is the truth. Feminine and masculine energies are the answer for all of our problems. And we know this because it's our DNA. Emotional intelligence is our DNA. Emotional intelligence is empathy and confidence, personal power. Love, self-love, love for others, regulated nervous system, calm, power, confidence to say what we want without judgment, without having judgment on others. That is feminine and masculine energy. That is emotional intelligence. And that is literally the answer to every single one of our problems in a nutshell. So, welcome to the show. And I am going to be having guests on here as I begin growing, but we are at episode one. And I'm going to be sharing every night at 5 o'clock some wisdom and some things that are going to help you to manifest the life of your dreams, but furthermore, to also understand how much it takes to follow your dreams and go after your dreams, and invite you occasionally to do some energy work with me. And we're going to explore wounds and things that are holding you back so that we can reverse out those programs that you may be holding, carrying, or running on that you do not want to be running on. You do not want to be running on stories of lack. We want to, in a clean, clear perspective of life. Okay. And that is what I do. And I love it so freaking much. And I'm just coming out of like a really I was disjointed from my mission and my vision because I've gone through so much, and I was gonna almost let that win and almost let like that darkness win. And I do not want that for myself. I don't want that for humanity. I know how much my work is powerful and helpful, and maybe you feel the same way. And so what I want to do is inspire you to I want to inspire you to take the action that you need to take as well by being in action and showing up every day. So let's begin. The name of this episode, if I can remember, doesn't say it anywhere, is it doesn't say. Okay, great. So very much like Facebook used to do this. I remembered. Okay, so the name of this episode is like how to manifest faster and like the actual steps and how so many manifestation lighting is absolutely terrible. So many manifestation techniques skip the truth of emotional regulation and emotional intelligence. And I want to help you with that. I want to help you to understand your emotions so that you can manifest the life that you want faster. So let's begin by saying that you have your soul's desires. There's things inside of you that you want and you want to get them, right? Like there's nothing wrong with wanting to get the things that are in your heart and your soul. And you are designed to get those things. What has happened is we have been born on this planet with all these stories and all these limits and your parents' limits and your parents' stories. And because of those stories and because of those limits, you may be running on a limiting belief. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'll never find love. I'm not good at relationships. I wasn't put on this planet to be in love. I heard a woman say that the other day. I really truly believe I wasn't put on the planet to have love. It's like, oh my God, of course you were. These stories that we tell ourselves, I can't do it. Yeah. Now, there's also things that I just truly believe you shouldn't do. If you're in a better place of joy, not doing accounting all day, or if you're in a place of joy, not doing dance all day, don't do it. You may be doing that. You may be working an accounting job that you absolutely hate and you're showing up every day. I talked to someone today. I said, do you like your job? And he said, no. And I'm just doing it for the paycheck. And so many people live in that world. So there's two sides of those coins. You can do anything and everything and anything in your soul, anything that you know is inside of your soul. I truly believe you can have that. And then I also believe you got to stop doing things that you don't want to be doing. Okay. So it's like this combination of both that is going to inspire yourself to do self-love, empathy, the love piece, and boundaries and the confidence because you're saying no to things that you don't want to do. It's a nice combination. And that is what gets you excelling a little faster into the life that you came to live. Okay, so I want to begin by giving you 3 steps that you can take to start manifesting faster. Now, the first thing you must understand, many is the word for hand, to take. And fest is festival. I don't know what the fest part means, but it means to take, right? To take the feast, to bring it towards you. Manipulation is the same. Manipulation. And that is okay too. Manipulation is, we want to learn to manipulate energy. We want to change energy. We want to, you manifest everything. This is one of the things that I'm going to be teaching here very openly, is that you can manifest anything that you want. You're always going to manifest what you need based on your vibration. So yes and no. You can make choices as well. So your vibration is going to call certain people in at certain times of your life. And it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to go down that path with that person or with that thing. And when you make the choice, you need to know if that choice is coming from a wound or if that choice is coming from your consciousness and knowing what's going to get you to where you want to go faster. So let's use a tangible example. Let's say you are so excited to meet a man and you cannot wait to build your life with a man. Men start showing up. But one man, you kind of know he's the guy, but there's something that's off, but you still say, okay, let's build a life together. You then, years later, maybe months later, years later, like I said the first time, you may be like, oh my gosh, this isn't the guy. And then you might even start trying to figure out a way to blame him, even though it was you that chose him. So that's one example. And then men, you might do the same thing with a woman. Or if you're gay, you might do the same thing with a person of the same sex, where you know it's not the right person. You know that there's something that's like not completely aligning, and yet you still take the ride. Why? So you could go, I knew it. No, nobody cares what you knew in hindsight really all that much unless you're willing to change the behavior. The behavior is you latching on to people that you know are not your divine person because you are afraid to be alone, or you're afraid that you're not going to be able to get what you came for, which is in direct conflict with getting what you came for. My hair is nuts. I'm just going to go with it. It's in direct conflict with what you. I got to stop touching this, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Some people love it. Some people hate it. It's whatever. I actually don't mind it, but let's get the audience opinion. Okay. So the behavior is you choosing partners that you know are not aligned because you have a wound inside of you, and the wound needs to play out. But what we do, instead of playing out the wound and letting the wound come to the surface, we often throw those people away without taking blame, or taking responsibility for our own choice. The faster you can turn everything inward and take responsibility for all of your choices, the faster you are going to begin aligning. Let's use an example. I chose a coach. I knew it wasn't right. I knew it. I knew it wasn't right. I could feel it, but I was afraid. I didn't know. Was he the right coach for me? And I was like, oh my gosh, is this guy going to help me with my business? But I knew something was off. I knew it was off. And I still chose him anyway. I still did it. And then when I did it and I started to lose money and we switched the strategic plan and it wasn't what I wanted, I blamed him and left. Even though, well, I kind of did, but I kind of didn't, because I'm so fast at moving through my own responsibility. And I went, okay, I chose him. I chose that man. He changed the strategy. I knew it wasn't right, and I still took the ride instead of saying, hey, nope, this ain't right. This doesn't feel right. It cost me money, cost me time. It cost me potentially one of my soul's desires. And so that is the only thing we have is our time. The only thing we have, I'm going to put my hair up because it's just like a little too much. The only thing we have is time. So yes, you can have and do whatever you want in this world, but you have to make your choices based on what you say to yourself and based on what you want, and trust that you have the power inside of you to do so. All right. So the number one thing that you need to work on in order to work on your manifestation is your self-worth, your worthiness to believe that you are capable of creating the life that you came for. If you have it in your soul, you have to know that you're capable of creating that life for yourself. And it's not always going to be 100% what you think it is. It's going to look a little bit different. But at the same time, it is 100% a possibility for you to create the life that you came for. And so there is no doubt about this, but there is the knowing that you have to expand your worthiness to receive it. You have to. Otherwise, you will keep choosing and picking things based on wounds that you haven't cleared. So when we work, I'm just going to plug this in. So when we work on our self-worth, excuse me. Is that working? Okay. Okay. Is this working? Yeah. When we work on our self-worth, what we're doing is we're declaring to the universe that we are ready for the next level. You are working on your self-worth to get ready for the next level. So let's say you want to start a business and you want to get, an additional $20,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. If it is your own business, you have to become a different person than you were before. If you have a lot of stories, if you have low self-worth, if you have a family that had scarcity, it might take you a little bit longer to get through those stories. It might not, because you're not sensitive and you have very low emotional attachments. It could take you months. You could be like, I don't even resonate with what you're talking about. You probably wouldn't be here. When we have low self-worth, you have to come back to the knowing that, first off, you are worthy of what's inside of you and that's just a story. But you also might be really sensitive, and it might take you a little while to go through the things that you're going through in order to get to where you want to go. And that is based on your sensitivity. That is based on your worthiness. It's based on your self worth. It's also based on the size of the thing that you say that you want. So for me, I say I want something very specific, and it's a big desire. It's a big desire. When I say that I want that particular thing, I'm declaring to the universe that I want a massive particular thing. Okay, maybe you have something inside your heart and soul. Maybe it's billions of dollars or hundreds of millions. What a lot of people do not talk to you about is the pain and the suffering that has to happen in order to earn the thing that you want. Okay, now there's a lot of truth. I'm just going to fix this hair, guys. It's way too much. Okay, there's a lot of truth. It's episode 1. I'll keep getting better. There's a lot of truth with the fact that you don't have to suffer when it comes to, oh, I know why, guys, because I put all of this hairspray in this morning at the gym. I was like, why is my hair like this? Because normally it's really silky and fun. But I put a lot of hairspray in. Okay. Bing. Okay, cutesy. There's a lot of truth about having to earn it. Yes. But if you have parents that have earned it before you, they're going to provide you with an easier path, regardless if they believe that or not. And it's not necessarily about money. If they had a really beautiful family life, then they will basically stop trauma as much as they can and really help their family line. So if your mother and your father both went after their purpose and they both followed their dreams and they both were deeply in love with one another, there's a stronger chance that you're going to have a lot more success and a lot more light. Angelina Jolie is a really good example of this. Granted, she didn't do a wonderful job with her relationships. She lost her father really early, and maybe there were more things under the hood that we don't know about. It's still a really good example because she's gorgeous, she's stunning, and she's aligned, and you can feel her light, you can feel her star codes. And so, and people are intimidated by it at the same time, but she's just so alluring. She's so gorgeous. And so that's a really good example of someone who had like a little bit of a better opportunity. Same with Paris Hilton. Her parents have been together forever. And then her grandparents were married together forever. And they had a lot of wealth and a lot of trials and tribulations they had to go through. The first hotel for the Hiltons was built in Texas. And it was actually, a really difficult thing for them to do because they kept getting turned down on bank loans. They had to borrow money from a friend to make the first hotel or the second one. And so she didn't follow her purpose necessarily, but her embodied parents who, had a great relationship, or at least on the surface, we don't know always, has helped her have an easier life. It doesn't mean that she doesn't go through her stuff. It just means her life is a little easier. So there's a big spell out there that we have to make things really difficult. We don't. I used to buy into that. Sure, yes, you have to earn it, but you can earn it with the shortest amount of ease and authority over your body and over yourself when you declare that you're ready for that level, when you're ready for that level of receivership. So how do we do that? How do we improve our our self-worth? We increase our emotional intelligence. I want to explain what emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence is the ability to be aware of your emotions in the moment and use that information to make better decisions. This is literally the definition of manifesting. When we combine emotional intelligence, which is the ability to read our emotions and the emotions of others in the moment, and use that information to make better decisions, we're going to manifest faster. It goes one layer deeper. This is such solid, this is solid. Please retain this piece. Yes to emotional intelligence, being aware of your emotions in the moment and using that information to make better decisions in the emotions of others. And if you have a wound where you hate men or you have a heartbreak, your emotions are going to be sending you a disjointed signal that's going to give you emotions, and you're going to go, I know my emotions. I feel angry. I feel pissed off. I feel mad at him or her, even though it's you that hasn't worked on your deeper wounding. The deeper wounding is rejection, abandonment, the father wound, the mother wound. All of these, what we refer to as core wounds, are the things that you need to understand have to happen in order for the emotions to make sense. So if you have a wound that you haven't gotten to in your DNA, the emotion that you get, you have to feel it. You have to feel it so deeply so that you can get to the wound. Because if you don't take the time to feel it, if you don't take the time to understand what's going on in your body, you're just going to have to play the wound out on earth. In the moment, my wound that I'm working through is a mother wound, and I'm going to explain what this looks like. So was born with like mother wound, father wound. And we all are, even if you had a perfect family, unless your parents were deeply in love and they were both doing exactly what they came to earth to do together. That's called a divine union. If they were that, dismiss. But most of us didn't have that model to us. And it has to be 2 to 3 or 4 generations, right? So you might have your grandmother's wounding. My first marriage was very much like my grandmother's wounding. And my grandfather and my grandmother and the way they communicated with one another. And then my second marriage replicated a bit more of my parents. And excuse me, I wasn't married twice, but I had to clean the karma. And so then what I realized is I still have something about the mother. And I knew this because someone left my life abruptly. And when they left, I felt deeply devastated, like I had disappointed my mother. And I said, oh God, wow, I put the mother wound into her. I put it into her. And it was almost like I was like afraid to like be my authentic self. And then I felt myself putting that wound when she left into another person, into another woman in my life. And I went, oh my God, I'm just taking the mother wound from this one and putting it into another person. So let's think about how this might look for someone like yourself. This could be a matter of you putting the mother wound into me, or the father wound into a boss, or the president, or anger at men, taking it out on the president, taking it out on leadership, instead of doing something about it, instead of changing leadership, instead of getting into a relationship where you can have your own mission and vision. We get mad at the leaders when we have father wound. We get mad at people who are stable when we have father wound. And we do the same thing when we have a mother wound. We feel rejected. Men can feel rejected by me, even though we don't have any relationship. Sometimes I've had men be like kind of upset with me because I have a very potent, clean energy field. So when you have that clean energy field, you can set off other people around you. And so I said, oh my gosh, I think I'm just putting the mother wound inside of that woman. Like I'm almost like I was like moving it from one place to the next. And I just had to stop. And this is what you do. You feel the emotions deeply. And I would encourage you to do energy work. I would encourage you to go so deep into yourself, so deep into the wounding, the fear you might have of being seen. That was the thing. I was like, oh my God, should I stop being like, happy, sexy, naked Aasha T? And interestingly, I will never stop being authentic. I'm a star. I'm a performer. but I'm also in corporate. So I've kind of like had to learn to like balance both. And that's been amazing because I'm a leader and I'm going to universities. I'm going to start mothering more children and helping more children and nurturing more people. But I'm also here to show you that you can be whoever you want. There's no shame in any of that. And in fact, this is very much like a star. A star, you will see a star one day speaking at Harvard. Kim Kardashian is a perfect example. Speaking at Harvard one day, and then the next day she's modeling Spanx or whatever Skinnies, and so you Skims, and so that's amazing flexibility. And a lot of people wait until they're rich and they're famous in order to express all that, where you don't have to do that. And I just saw this doctor the other day on Instagram. She was really cool. She like goes to not BDSM. It was at EDM parties, like raves. She like goes to raves, and she's like a big doctor, and she's like, I don't care. I like live my life. Don't work with me, And she's got hundreds of thousands of followers because she's like showing you how expressive she is at every corner, and that is the coolest freaking thing that you can do for yourself. It is honestly the coolest thing. And then when you are here, you start to see who people really are in your life, who people really are when you are authentic, and know that that's parts of yourself that you're abandoning. There's parts of yourself that you abandon when we start to change who we are so that we can seek the approval of somebody around us. So again, if you're emotionally intelligent and you understand the emotion, but your emotion is coming from the wrong story because you're not seeing something clearly right now, you're going to have a hard time manifesting what it is that you desire. Instead, you're going to keep manifesting more karmic lessons. And we want you out of that space, okay? And in order to get out of the space, you got to move your energy. All right. And let's get into that next week. In the meantime, I want to go ahead and close this down. And these are the keys to manifesting faster. You've got to go a little bit deeper into these wounds. All right. If anything feels off inside your system, ask yourself, okay, what is the emotion? Why am I feeling this emotion? And let me detach from this story. Let me be the creator now. Let me be the creator now. I'm done with those stories. And then the truth is you are going to have to go through them, but we don't need to make a big spectacle about it. You can move through them faster. You can choose a better and a higher vibration of reality for yourself. You can totally choose that. And this is the place where wealth will begin following you. Abundance will begin following you. You're going to start feeling good. And so even last night, just chatting away with a few of my clients, helping one of my clients getting a raise, helping my clients start to know who they are. I'm moving into more of a leadership structure program for myself to begin manifesting at higher levels. And I'm going to encourage this for you. All right. Start inviting it in, but you got to get serious. You got to take the action. And a lot of that action has to do with your energy. Okay. So on that note, I'm going to send you so much love, and I cannot wait to connect with you. My name is Aasha, and this was awesome. So just about 27 minutes, and we will do some more discussion about energy next week. And I'll bring a little bit of one of my whiteboards so that you guys can have a look at the understanding of trauma bonds and push-pull dynamic. I cannot wait. And in the meantime, I'm going to wish you all well. If you are interested in joining me in any of my courses or programs, please click on the links in the emails that are listed on the channel. Share with anybody who may feel beneficial hearing some of the stuff, people that might be stuck in sadness, depression, anxiety, any of those lower vibe emotions. They're not bad, but we don't want them stuck there, right? So let's keep talking about it. All right, you deserve to live. Bye.